like you said, listening is such an important skill. It's you need to learn how to listen.
Vital.
Almost, because as you said, without it, you're going to miss out on so much information in this world that you are missing parts of the painting, parts of the picture.
Yeah. Anything. You're just trying to compare yourself, and that is not what we want. We want to be seeing, we want to be listening, we want to be hearing, so we can understand and move forward. If we listen to a podcast, we are now recording this podcast on both the camera and the recording software. People that can see the podcast can understand a bit more because they're seeing our facial expressions, our hand movements, the background, our laptops, what we're doing with our hands, what we're talking about, if we swear, if we don't swear, or whatever. If we pick fluff off our vest, or whatever. Whereas people that listen... Finding success, and we're here to upgrade and master your life and help you find your version of success. Welcome back to another episode, guys, with me, Adam.
And me, Alex. I didn't know if there was a lag there or what. How are we doing, dude?
Yeah, I'm good, man. How are you?
Yeah, I'm good, man. Good week. This week better than last week.
Oh,
it wasn't. I'm sure listeners listening would have heard I had a bad week last week, and I'm getting on top of things. We're in the UK again, travels and less, but smashing the goals, chasing them down.
Bang.
What are you looking at?
No, I was just looking at Think and Grow Rich.
The what?
Think and Grow Rich, the book.
Oh, it's a great book.
Yeah, great book.
How was your week?
Week was good, mate. I had the opportunity to get back on top of my life, and I'm just like, again, it's almost like starting January over again.
Oh, I love it.
I'm like, I'm getting everything done. That's amazing. I'm looking at companies, I'm looking at investments, and I'm looking at people, and I'm looking at what they're buying, and I'm like, oh my God, I want to buy it all.
We're making money.
Oh, mate. And the current times of the market, the prices, it's just perfect.
There is opportunity in the market. It's expensive, but there's opportunity.
We know that it's expensive. We know that it's not technically always risk-free, but God, is it fun.
Oh, mate, it is. It's like gambling, but better because you know what's going to happen.
Sure. This week,
talk to me.
We're going to talk about something that I heard, and I took it on a bit personal, really. And the guy, very wise man.
Oh, talking about me?
The wise man is talking how much of a you are. No, a wise man that was saying, the more you listen, the more you see. And those words sort of hit me a little bit, because I was thinking, I know quite a few people out there, people that like to 11 the reef themselves, people that like to...
Hang on, you got to explain that. That might have gone over some people's heads. Because that's a very English saying. We got a lot of American from all over the world, Central America, South America, Africa. Come on, explain that.
So,
explain yourself.
A very common English holiday is to go to Tenerife, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's very common. It's a great place to go. The sun is fairly cheap, and you just have a great time. Well, a lot of people that like to one-up themselves, better themselves, think that they have been somewhere better than you. We call them the 11-a-reefers, because if you've been to Tenerife, they've been to 11-a-reef. If you've got a MacBook, they've got a MacBook Pro with M1 chip with 15 inches. They've always got to be one better off.
If you've got
a
dog, they've got 6 that are better.
Exactly, and bigger and way more, and have sharper teeth.
Yeah, bigger bark.
Yeah, they're the people that. They're the people that always have to be one better. They have an ego, they have a persona around them, but they just have to be the best person around the table that currently are speaking. And
so those people, you were going on about listening or something?
Yeah, I was listening. We were on about listening, and I was listening to the conversation. This guy, this 11-a-reefer, kept barking in. He was like, well, yeah, but my car's louder than yours. And it's like, how do you know? How do you know? Because you haven't been in my car, so you don't know if it's louder or not. How do you know that you're earning more money than me? Because you haven't seen my bank account. How do you know these things? Because you're not listening. And if you're not listening, then you're not seeing, because you're not hearing, you're not understanding, you're not learning, you're not there, you're not being anything. You're just trying to compare yourself, and that is not what we want. We want to be seeing, we want to be listening, we want to be hearing, so we can understand and move forward. If we listen to a podcast, we are now recording this podcast on both the camera and the recording software. People that can see the podcast can understand a bit more, because they're seeing our facial expressions, our hand movements, the background, our laptops, what we're doing with our hands, what we're talking about, if we swear, if we don't swear, or whatever, if we pick fluff off our vest, or whatever. Whereas people that listen, have to pay very close attention to what we are saying, because they have to not have the visual but have the noise in their ears.
Audio only.
Exactly. They can't visualize what we're doing. They just have to understand and be very quiet and be very understanding and take everything in. So, okay, you have an advantage of seeing one thing because it's like a personal conversation, but listening is just important. It's very, very important, and that's why podcasts are so popular, because listening is a very important skill of our life. If we don't listen, we don't understand. It's very simple. If someone explains to you how to invest in a company and you're not listening, then you're going to go, I'm going to go and invest in a company because you've heard those 4 words, but then you don't listen to the rest of the conversation. You've just gone, I'm going to go and invest in a company. How do you do that? Well, I don't know. I didn't listen. It's the same with anything in life. A job, buying a car, anything. If you don't listen, you don't understand. It's as simple
Absolutely.
as that. And you can't think and absorb information if you're outputting information.
Yeah.
I love that saying.
That's a very good saying, actually. You literally took the words out of my mouth, but said it in a much better way. I was just about to say, going back to the 11 Arifas, the egos, they're not, say you're conversing like we do on the podcast, they're not actually looking and listening. They're just going, how can I one up? How can I one up? They've heard you say, oh, I've got, and they've gone, oh, yeah, but what have I got that's better? You know, they're not actually in the conversation.
If I've read 10 books, you've read 11.
Exactly. Exactly. So, and we're trying to avoid that for the rest of our lives because, like you said, listening is such an important skill. You need to learn how to listen.
Vital.
Almost, because, as you said, without it, you're going to miss out on so much information in this world that you are missing parts of the painting, parts of the picture.
Yeah.
And I think learning how to listen is like a skill you need to do, just like we do investing and so on and so forth. You have to work on it, just like speaking.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't work on speaking. We probably need to work on it a little bit better.
Absolutely.
And our just in general vocabulary, yeah, the pronunciation of words, all those sorts of things. We all need to work on it, and we do.
Absolutely.
And we do a little bit. You know, we do this quite regularly, so we're getting better and better.
Yeah.
Especially, you know,
More
like we said before,
sure.
more confident.
Yeah.
Go back and listen to episode 1. It's horrendous. You know,
it's amazing.
But yeah, listening's up there. What? And sorry, so stuttering like a madman. I think why you need to learn to listen is because you can absorb so much more.
Absolutely.
You're gonna say you're learning from a networker, someone you're networking with, a mentor, just anyone with knowledge to give.
Yeah.
You can learn a lot from them, and it's not always just about hearing. It's like reading body language, looking at each other's eyes is a huge thing, as well as Christ, what was it? Body language is huge. Actual audio listening, and then people don't realise, but taking time after someone's finished speaking to process what they're saying,
yeah.
right? You will learn so much more respect from the person who just spoke instead of rambling out the first thing that comes out your head. If you go, take a pause, think about what you just said. You don't have to look up into midair. But if you're processing it while it's going in, it will take a second. Then you respond, and the conversation will flow better, even with those pauses.
Yeah.
It'll be a deeper, more meaningful conversation.
Yeah. Me and you both know. Have you read the book How to Win Friends and Influence People yet?
Oh, do you know what? I'm midway through.
Okay, I thought so. And we've both listened to Chris Voss.
Absolutely.
The difference.
Right there in the centre of the table.
Very common things in those books when they're trying to negotiate / understand how people's mind works, when silence is a very powerful thing in conversation. When we give someone a second or 2 seconds or 5 seconds to think and process, you don't just blurt out information that you don't really understand. I'm actually thinking and contemplating how this person lives, what they're like, how are they speaking, what type of background that they live, if they're very educated or not. Do they have a posh language or a posh vocabulary or a posh what's the dinger? Accent, exactly, or an unposh accent, but they have a very wealthy background. Are they driving a Lamborghini and they're driving a Land Rover? You know, we all pick these different things from conversations. If we sit and actually listen and process, we can absorb information and then expel information to a wider, broader
audience. So exactly that. The listening is that you look as you can listen with your eyes. Essentially, you can absorb as much as you can hear with your eyes. That's why it's so important to look. And like you were saying, it's gone out of my head now. It's really annoying.
While you think about that,
Go on.
I've got a friend. She's a lovely girl, bless her. But when you're having a conversation with her, she looks at you like she's listening, but it doesn't go in. So it's like you're chatting away, and it goes, "What'd you say?" It's like, come on.
You triggered it. That's exactly what I was going on about. If you're engaged, you're looking.
Yeah.
The conversation will be deeper because
Absolutely.
It's you're both understanding each other to a higher level.
Yeah.
Whereas if you're half in and half out, it's not going in. The conversation's not quite triggering where you hope it to go, and it takes longer to get to B. You know, you start at A, trying to get to B. Sometimes you won't ever get to B because there's no focus. There's no direction.
Interaction.
It's no.
It's not a deeper. You're not vibrating on a deeper level.
Spot on.
There's dads now. There's dads now that I know that I work with, and they're deleting social media off their phone because they want to be there for their kids, because they found that when they were getting home from work, they were like, "Oh, how was your day?" Yeah, it was good. And they're scrolling through Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, or whatever, and they're just like mindlessly scrolling when their kids are on the floor playing Hot Wheels. And it's like, you want to be there because you've just been at work for 10 hours, say, and now you've come home and you've got about an hour at night to play with your kids and do whatever, and appreciate the being that you've created. And instead you're mindlessly scrolling through your phone. You're not even listening to the Final Access podcast, which is stupid. You should be. Exactly. It's not fair. So they're just mindlessly scrolling through their phone, and now they're just like, right, I've realised I'm not being there, I'm not interacting, I'm not understanding or absorbing what is going on in my life. I need to cut out what the problem is, do that, and then they go, now I remember I'm a dad to 2 kids. I have a son that's 5 and a daughter that's 7. They like football, they like riding their bikes. So I'm going to teach them to jump on their bike, so I can teach them how money works, how services work. If you want to have a haircut, then you have to pay some money. If you want to buy some sweets, then you have to pay some money. If you want to earn some money, you have to do some work. So it's a great thing that we can do if we understand and believe the interaction that we can cause.
Yeah, what they've done is they've cut out the noise around them. They've gone, my phone is a distraction, it's noise, it's taking me out of my world and putting me in my own little, just like you say, tunnel vision to your scrolling.
Yeah.
And by doing what you've just said, like deleting the social medias and realising they've created life and starting to embrace it, I think their happiness will literally skyrocket. Their whole purpose of life they'll be just in such a better place.
Yeah.
And that makes you a better person. And like you said, he can take pride in teaching his young lad how to live, and like that's a great feeling. So I feel like, cutting out the noise is essential to learning how to listen as well. Yeah. Like if you're having a conversation and it's got so much in your head, like last week for me, everything was going wrong. Car was breaking down, work was flat out, room's a mess. My head was a mess. So having conversations with people weren't as deep or didn't have as much depth. Didn't have just wasn't triggering on all cylinders, firing on all cylinders.
Yeah.
Whereas you delete the noise, you can actually listen better.
Yeah, hands down. Anything else to add?
No, we will.
I'm going to finish on that. Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, links are down below. Don't forget to rate, subscribe, and share. Get this podcast out there. We want to help the world, so help us do that. Take care, guys. Have a good week. See you next time.
Success is available for everybody, so why should you settle for less?